Well, hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be looking at a new Aoocci unit, the C5. Some of you may remember about 7 months ago I installed the C3, and I'll be honest with you, I was perfectly happy with it. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. It did everything I needed it to, which was basically give me satellite navigation and just some sort of easy controls without having to take my phone out if I wanted to do anything else, as is the advantage of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, if that's what you do. Now, the good people at Aoocci did reach out to me a couple of times and asked me if I wanted to try a new unit. And I very politely and with great gratitude declined, because I was happy. I had what I needed, and that was that. But then one day I had a dream. Yes, I know it's a little bit weird talking about dreams, but just bear with me on this. Now, one of the things I love about biking is going around corners, leaning into corners. If I say I like speed, I think that's very subjective, because what I mean by speed is a lot less than what a lot of people think of speed. But when it comes to going around bends and going around roundabouts, I just love leaning in. And I have actually scraped a couple of bikes. Not this one, I should add, but I have scraped them in the past. But in this dream, I was enjoying myself on the motorbike going around a corner. And then from underneath me, my motorbike slipped away. And I lost it. It just slid and I slid with it. And the second thing that happens regularly, is I turn right quite regularly, as we all do. And when you turn right into a road, I'm always looking at cars behind me. Now, because I do stick to the speed limit, I invariably get people come right up behind me. And particularly 30, I'm more cautious in 30 than any other speed limit, and I'll say that because although I do stick to the speed in most areas, you know, there might be a couple of miles an hour here or there, not that I would ever admit to that, allegedly, but in a 30 I generally stick to it, because 30 mile an hour is where most pedestrians and children are, and that's why it's very vulnerable, and I would not want to be the cause of harm to anyone else. So if I'm turning right and a car's coming up behind me and it's right up my arse, I'm always nervous that there's very little I can do if they're not paying attention and I slow down. So a combination of those two things got me thinking, do I really have all the safety that I need to help me? So the first thing was, of course, the tyre pressure, and the second thing is a rear camera. Not that I can stop people going into me, I can do everything I possibly can, but if anything ever happened and someone tried to point the finger and blame me, then obviously I'd want to be able to have the necessary evidence to support me. Now, as I was thinking all of this, Aoocci wrote to me and they said, and they introduced the special offers that are over the Black Friday and the Christmas offers. And in the email, once again, they said if there are any other units you want to try, give us a call. And that got me thinking, maybe it's time that I did upgrade and I got myself a different unit that had the tyre pressure monitor and also the ability to have cameras front and rear. Now, I was originally against anything bigger than the unit that I had, my C3. And I'm not sure when it came out, but this particular unit in front of me right now, which hopefully you can see, is actually the C5. And the C5 is effectively, to all intents and purposes, the same size as my C3, but it has a few extra cunning features. Namely, it has front and rear cameras, and it also has the ability to include tyre pressure monitors. So I have today installed my front and rear cameras, which were easy to do actually. It was a lot of fiddling around in deciding where to put them. The biggest thing was making a decision for me. But the tyre pressure monitors were so easy. They literally just screw onto the tyres. So that is what I've done. Yeah, so the unit itself was very easy to add to the bike. I I had hoped that the previous Aoocci unit that I had, I could just slot this straight onto the existing fittings, but the ball joint was slightly smaller on this one, and it's metal, and the other one was plastic, was a bit bigger, so it didn't quite fit. And so I took a bit of playing around with that. The good news is that the power cable that I use the side USB port on this. The power cable was completely compatible, so I didn't have to reroute that, which, not a major thing, but it was just handy not to have to reroute the power cable. So I was able to take advantage of my existing power cable, but not of the bracket. So I fitted the new bracket. The other thing I noticed is that the tool, it's like a security tool for my previous unit, does not fit this one, which kind of is good, because that means it's extra security, because not any of these fit each other. So the screws that come with it are anti-theft screws, so it stops people just casually nicking them. Now once I'd fitted the unit onto the bike, onto the handlebars, after a bit of playing around, and that's kind of very subjective where you want it and how you put it, it really is not that complicated. Even I managed. As I mentioned earlier, the next thing is the fitting of the cameras. The cameras are the most complicated thing to not to install, but to just decide where you want to put them. So I was playing around with all sorts of different options. I was looking at putting them on the top, trying to get them under the seat, not enough room there. I thought about putting them to the panniers. Anyway, I ended up coming up with a cunning plan, and that was to fit them to the back of the number plate. Now the reason that is good is because it's very discreet. It doesn't take up any real estate of the bike that affects me or the look, and it's got enough of an angle on the lens that it doesn't lose anything, so it picks it all up quite nicely. So that's I was pretty pleased with that. And it's stuck on the back. I gave it a good clean. Now I specifically chose the right side of the number plate, because all those who maintain their chains will know that you get oil from the chain. You'll get mud on the bottom of the number plate, there's no question it's going to get muddy, the camera that is, but I just avoided the oily side, so hence why I put it on the right side of the number plate. Now you fitting it on your bike, you'll find maybe somewhere else, somewhere better, more suited. There are so many different styles of bike, but just for this classic 650, the rear number plate. The front there were less options for the front. Basically everything was just too curvy for me to consider just putting it anywhere other than where I put it, which was underneath, well, I don't know what it's called. Hopefully you can see it in the picture. So yeah, it's kind of stuck there and in the middle, so I think it's not so obvious, it's still quite discreet. And then I just spent a little time making sure that the cables were correctly routed. So we've got the two cameras. I thought it was going to be a lot more faff than it was. As I say, it was just the time in deciding where to put them. And then we've got the two tyre pressure monitors, and they were really easy to fit. I literally just unscrewed the existing caps, and then the tyre pressure monitors go on exactly the same way. They're a very simple design. Well, I say simple in terms of looking after them. How they designed it is obviously their own development, R&D and development. But you just unscrew a simple bolt, and that exposes a battery, and the battery then gives you obviously a lifelong worth of pressure monitor. I'll pull over in a moment and I'll show you that. But obviously the battery will run out at some point, so you just simply replace it. But just a beautiful design, because it was simple, easy to fit, and easy to replace the battery if that ever runs out. So although I may not stop myself from dreaming about my bike tyres going down, there is a much better chance that should I hit a nail or something, and if my tyre is going down slowly, then I've got a far more instant way of checking my tyre pressures. Now, I am someone who does check his tyre pressures, don't get me wrong, but I will confess I don't do it every time I ride. Maybe do it weekly, maybe every few weeks, depends how much riding I've been doing. So to have something built into this unit is just really, really assuring and helpful. Now, I don't plan on having any accidents, but who does? But if for any reason anything were to go untoward, then I have all I need with the cameras. Now, something else just to add about this unit, it actually has GPS built into it, which I thought, what's the point of that? I'm using Apple CarPlay, I'll just use maps, why do I need GPS? But then it dawned on me that as it's recording, it actually records your speed and your location. So it tracks a lot of information. It's like having your own black box on a motorbike, really, that can just kind of help you. Now, if you want to get yours, you can get a 22% discount with my standard code, and it's MOM22, which I'll put all the details in the description for anybody who wants to take advantage of that. And that has been so far available all year round. Now, there are every now and again special deals and special offers, and I will promote those on this channel if ever you want to know what those are. And if there is one on at the moment, which at the time of recording the video there is, but I don't want to date it by giving too much away, but if you look in the description, then you will see the details of any current promotions. If those promotions are over, then I'll remove it from the description, but yes, there might be some special offers. Now, these are already, I'd say, for units like this, they're quite inexpensive anyway, from Aoocci, but I think it's worth you taking advantage of the special offers as well. So a combination of a unit that's not too expensive and the special discount really does make for a really good deal. Quite incredible, actually. I am not an Aoocci service centre, but really, if you have any issues with these, if you do get one, just contact Aoocci direct. I can only vouch from my experience is they have been absolutely superb. They really have been responsive and quick to respond if I've had any questions. So you should get the same kind of level of service. I can only say, I can't say any more than that. But yeah, I'm not a service centre. But for those who have bought units from my channel, a heartfelt gratitude and thanks, because I wasn't sure that people would really listen and buy anything from these links, but many of you have, and I'm super happy with that, so thank you. And I hope you're enjoying your unit as much as I am. As I say, I wouldn't have changed it apart from the fact they offered to, and then I had that dream and that sort of thought of turning right. Even now, as I'm turning right this roundabout, I'm watching the car behind me like a hawk, because I just want to see what they do. I mean, what could I do if they decided not to stop? I'll move out of the way, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, it's nice to know there's evidence if anything did go a little bit wrong. And it might not just be me in an accident. It could be me monitoring something or observing something else. As many of you will know, I've had the Ghost XL on my helmet for a while, and that's been super useful. But I've got to put it on every time, and I've got to keep it charged, and I've got to do all of that good stuff. Well, of course, as soon as I turn the bike on, it's just automatically recording. It just starts the moment you start the bike, so turn the bike on. So yeah, all very good stuff. Anyway, I think that's enough waffle from me. Thank you for your time again today, and take care, ride safe, and I look forward to catching up with you very soon. Thanks for joining me, musician on a motorbike.